Battlefield 1, but I'll try and get that commentary done for you. He's so good. All right, so I know Ali's on a late night schedule here right now, so let's jump into hellolooklisten.com, shall we? And I'll zoom in right away. Let me load up Matt's thoughts as well here. And I don't think I've ever said your last name out loud before, but it's like Tocher. I want to say Tocher. Ugh. Maybe you told me last time. Did you tell me last time? Actually, maybe somebody else said that. I don't recall, but I think it was something like that. Something like that. Let me find Matt. Here we go. Oh, and by the way, get in the damn box. Thanks for that follow. You followed during the video. Okay. Let's go with Tocher. We got it. So I haven't looked at his notes yet. I'm not going to look at it until I've watched it. But let's have a glance at the site here. Welcome. My name is Ali, and I love audio. I'm a sound designer focusing on sound effects and implementation for games and interactive media. Please take a look around. You got it. And what is happening right now? I'm turning up my volume. I have the Chrome is way quiet right now. Do you have wave sounds for using the scroll bar right now? It's like kind of janky, but kind of cool. I'm kind of into this. What? And is it like velocity dependent too? What the heck, man? Okay. Well, we have our distinction taken care of. You haven't watched Real Talk before. This is what we're looking for. So I showed you Vikings for a second there. Real Talk criteria. Again, I can't click. Viking Squad. No. Real Talk criteria is right here. So we're looking for presentation, that's overall presentation of the site and of the reel, just in general how you're presenting yourself. And then we've got material selection, which is the stuff that's on, well, mainly the reel, of course, is the focus, but we look at the site as well. What's in the reel and what that says about you and what you want to do, and what developers or potential hirers, employers will think about you. Content quality is just if it's good or not. And distinction is, well, it's stuff like this. That's pretty cool. I have never, ever seen sound tied to a scroll bar before. That's really goddamn cool. Caught me off guard. See, I'm curious. I mean, it seems like there's instance limiting or something, so it's cutting off. Like there, it goes like, and it kind of stops occasionally. If you could smooth it out, like that would be sick. It'd be so cool. It's already pretty cool. And I mean, I know that it's a website, so I'm more forgiving, but the idea is pretty damn cool. All right, well, let's have a quick look around first. Is it all like one page kind of thing, or is it go to different places? Different places, okay. So, work, game, audio, film, television, digital animation, live sound, okay. Splashing, man. Adaptive design, implementation, project management. Yeah, okay. Great. Latest work. Shipped. This is silly to me, but I kind of understand what you're doing. I understand. Okay, game demos. Down, sure. Great. Okay, so I guess that's a bunch of work here. If I click these, just tell me more. Office Freakout. Okay, yeah. So it's got like more information on the game and stuff. Great. Resume contact is just this, easy enough. Resume. This is a crazy photo. I've seen that photo before, though. I'm pretty sure. Oh man. Okay, great. Excellent skills, history. Dire Nerd, Vigilant, Off-World Industries. Oh, really? They're Squad, right? Yeah, Squad. They're based in Vancouver now. They didn't used to be, but they moved here recently-ish. I met a couple of the guys from Squad at Dev Days. Nice guys. Yeah, awesome, man. Good stuff. Wait, what's at the bottom here? Venue manager. Okay, like live sound wise, I understand. Okay, work, game audio. Whoa. Ship titles. I feel like this stuff is getting a bit too in depth. Like there's too much. It reminds me of like Tony Porter's site, where there's like a lot of stuff going on, kind of thing, you know. Because I saw work here. Like, is this a different thing than the front page? If I click work, where's that go? So work is the main page, yeah, and then ship ship titles. Is that like these things? Because it's already here. So I feel like having it in two places. Like I don't know what this navigation is sending me to, but not a big deal. I'm sure if I mean the main thing is that it's here at all. So let's just look at the reel right now, shall we? I'm gonna click this play, and we'll crank our audio. Make sure that I'm not turned down on my mixer. I am not, and this is all good to go. We'll go full screen. Look at this, the length 109. All right. 9. It's okay. It's still 10 something. And I'll kill my mic off, and we'll press play. Yeah. All right. Let's do it. I've been watching a lot of poker things recently. Here we go. Thanks, Allie. All right. All right, let me just go a bit smaller on this thing so I can see the whole thing at once in the window. So, splashing is freaking me out, man. I love it. I love it. Okay, so my very first impression. I watched it through. So that's something. I mean, if you haven't watched Real Talk before, if this reel that we load up is not worth watching through, or rather it's not holding our attention, or rather as an employer I would stop, you know? If I watch out like 10 seconds, I'm like, all right, I've seen all I have to, I'm not gonna hire this guy. Like I will tell you that. And I watched the whole thing because I was curious and it kept changing, kept my attention, so good job. Let me read what Matt says first. Before we carry on, I see Matt divided into website and reel. So if you're not aware, Matt Martinson at Clay Entertainment is often here with us, but he's busy right now. So he's instead sent me all his notes in a Google Doc, which I will now read. He says, for the website, trailer right in my face, which I like. I think he means like this is right in his face. That's good. Scrolling sounds are ... weird. Matt doesn't like it, man. Or maybe he does. He'll grow on them, I don't know. Having playable demos is really cool. Don't have time to check them out, but it's cool that they're there. He says again, scrolling sound is really bothering me. He says it's a very stream of consciousness kind of thing. So scrolling sound really bothering me. About part. Oh, the about part. About. Is that like down here or something? Where's the about? Oh, about. Cables, ship titles, plugins, all-nighters. It's pretty funny. I didn't see that before. I just like did this, didn't look at it though. About part, don't care for the cute, how many cables and plugins you have. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. This and this is like kind of cute, but I don't know. He says, and the all-nighters reminds me of crunch, so it's actually a really bad thing to be reminded of. He knows you're trying to say you work hard, but anything that hints at crunch is a real turnoff for me, he says. Find the work navigation clunky and annoying. Yeah, I said the same thing. I don't love this that much. Those drop downs that keep going deeper always annoy me, and articles only has one article. Write at least another one. Is that true? Articles has one article? There is one article. Yeah, so perhaps write two. Alright, so navigating the blog, also not great. And no dates, so no idea when anything is from. Good point. Yeah, so look, listen, and work like go to the same thing, I guess, which is kind of strange to me. The navigation, like I don't really have a good answer for you, but I don't think you need this much depth. Like having the front page, and if I want to see more about this thing, I can. I don't know why I'd want to see like all this stuff again and present it in a different way again, you know? It's probably enough to have this grid and let people kind of dig in as they so desire. I don't think you'd need to have all these things presented in two different ways in two different places. And I may be wrong, but it seems like that's what it is right now. Like I've got this list, and then I have the game audio. Oh shit, the game audio, ship titles, and redesigns. I have them all again here, which is kind of. And this is like clunky. It's just like a bunch of text and stuff, back to back to back to back. So, like this page I hate, but it seems like it's just the same thing as like clicking this. Yeah, it's like this back to back to back to back with like boom, 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 boom. Like it's these pages all back to back to back, right? So I don't think you need that. Get rid of this nonsense. Like, so your front page is all game stuff though, right? Am I correct about that? Okay, yeah, so your front page is all game stuff. And by the way, if you're putting sound on your site, you might want to put like a mute button in the corner also. Because it's like kind of cute getting here, but now that I'm on here a lot, it's getting to me. So your work says like film, television, digital animation, live sound. Is that something you also want to do? Because your front page is like all interactive media. Or is this just for my benefit? Because you know I was looking at it. That's very possible too. Anyways, all right. So back to the reel. Okay. So my very first thought going through the whole thing, and you know what? I'll tell you what Matt thinks first. So he says just over a minute. That's good. Good use of titles. Sure. Find the veil clip jarring, which is the intent. I'm sure, but not the best to open your reel with. Yeah. So in general, here's my thoughts. Upon watching it through, I feel like there was a lot of things, and in that respect, it held my attention, but I felt like it was almost like the pendulum swung too far back the other direction from having like too few things, or like few things, or rather the same number of things, but like 3 times as long. So it's good to have it short, but I felt like some of the clips weren't long enough for me to actually glean any meaningful information about you, about your skills or like ambition or inspirations or challenges or accomplishments or whatever. It seemed like one, for example, with Limbo, it played so short, and it was like the kid just stood there for a second and that was it. So, like wise implementation, ambience, and event triggers. Folius effects are not my own. Credit to Martin. Yeah, of course, Martin's amazing. Inside is like the best sounding game I've heard in a long time. So we play this thing. It plays for 35 to... Yeah, so it plays like 7 seconds, maybe 8 seconds. And so I appreciate that you did these things, but I don't really understand what this is showing me. Maybe I'm just not entirely. Maybe I'm missing something. But like, so you're saying you did ambience and event triggers. So is there like a trigger right there, and that's what triggered the scream? So like it was right there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool to say that, okay, I looked at Wise. I can use Wise for things. I understand that's probably why you did it. But I don't know, it feels like it's maybe too short for this to get the point across. And I'm not sure what the best way to show that would be, though, without just having it longer and cutting something else out. Okay, so let's play again. Let's talk about presentation. Bookend, great. There's a pop. So the very first thing I heard this entire trailer, or entire reel, was the pop. Yeah. So I'm guessing that there's no fade on the front side of it, which is kind of unfortunate, because the very first thing you hear in the entire thing is a technical error. And it's a very small technical error, but for someone who's details oriented like myself, I totally hear that, and I guarantee I'm not the only one. So that's something I'd be aware of. I know Rob Brown did the same thing at the end of his trailer, or end of his reel rather, last week. We kind of gave him some crap for that. That he didn't use his sick Premiere skills to fade out the audio at the end. So a small detail, but definitely worth dealing with. This stuff is cool. Shipped is like, I don't know how I feel about this word shipped up here. Like, I think having just what it shipped on, like this stuff, like Veil VR is like Rift or something like that, like in parentheses, it says enough. I got mixed feelings about this, but it's just a personal thing. And also, I don't really know what this game is. So it's like, it's like Veil VR, so it's like this is still Veil VR. Is this like a linear timeline? Is that what you see in the game? So the ooh, like the ambient drone in the background. I have no idea what that game is. I might look into that one on your lower stuff, because I don't know what that is. Okay, redesign. This is fine. Okay, sure. Worlds Adrift, dynamic engine design, record from Wise, external perspective mix. Just went so wide there. So this is. So what is this? Where am I compared to where the next shot is? This is now. I was kind of confused as to why the panning went like from mono to like hard stereo on these two shots. It took me out of it the first time I watched it, but I don't know, maybe I'm just not understanding what I'm looking at. Cuts are fine. Again, these are fine. Office Freakout. Is that all you? Technical sound designer, Wise, UV4 implementation, 8-channel vertical music mix, lead of 3-person team. Okay. And also keep in mind, so this is a very good example of kind of why you don't need to have these titles up for a long time or have things shown for a long time in a reel, because I can totally press pause. I can press pause and do this, and that's totally fine. It's not like you need to get everything the first time through. Carry on. Yeah, that may be it, Andy. Very possible. And by the way, is this you putting it in there? Hire me? It's pretty cute. So what is this again? This is Sunset Overdrive gameplay redesign linear post edit. Okay, so it seems like that entire shot was in mono. I guess you were trying to do, like, is it just the... Yeah, so that this entire shot's in mono. I'm not sure why that is. We'll carry on. And that flew by. I didn't even know what I was looking at before. When this played, and I saw Hire Me, and it was gone. So kind of the same thing as my previous thought. Is it just... I don't know if it's worth putting in like a 3-second thing. Yeah, it's literally 3 seconds. That's so fast, man. I don't know. That's maybe too fast. Is this me or is this like the capture? This is the video, right? Is that just due to the fact that the captured video wasn't like it just had a video hiccup or something? Good finish too. Excellent. So I think that the this shot is like, it's kind of unfortunate that it cuts out, because I mean, if you're looking to show your aptitude and skill at syncing audio to visual interactive content, and the visual content is choppy and stuff, that's not... It's not that it paints you in a bad light. It's just that you're not giving people the best possible display of your work, you know? So it could be like a hardware problem. You know, if you're capturing with your own machine and you don't really want to buy a new video card right now and get like an SLI thing going on, then that's fine. It's like, so yeah, like Bob's saying, it doesn't really have to do with the audio design. I agree, but I totally noticed. And that kind of thing, it just... Anything that will take people out of the experience of listening and looking at your work is something that's maybe worth addressing. You know, it's like the same thing as, like we're talking about like typos and stuff. Like typos have no bearing on your ability to do sound, but if there are typos, then people they see that, right? Whereas if there is no typo, they don't see that, and their attention still, it remains on all the good things about you and your site and your work. So this kind of thing, I totally saw the frame rate issues in the Office Freakout section too, Bob. And the fact is, I was noticing that rather than looking at the reel. Like that's just, or listening to the reel. That's just, it's not even me being like a jerk about it. It's just what happens naturally as a human viewer. you tend to have your attention on whatever is inherently and naturally gaining your attention. So when I saw like this Office Freakout stuff and it played through, I was like, wow, it's like this frame rate's nuts. And I was thinking about that rather than what I was hearing. So, anyways. Okay, cool. So presentation-wise, like, yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's maybe too much stuff. I think you could probably stand to cut like a couple things out if it's going by too fast. Like if you can't... It's like I was saying, it's sometimes people show something for way too long and you're like, yeah, I get the point. But you can have the opposite problem where you see like 3 seconds of something and it's like not nearly enough for someone to internalize what they've seen. And I think that holds true for the Limbo thing and for the Adventure, whatever it was called, Adventurer Manager, redesign, ambience redesign, lore audio. Yeah, like I don't know what lore audio, what that means. Like the firework. So if I close my eyes right now and play that scene, I hear like a firework and a distant explosion and a sheep or something. Is that what it was? So and maybe a cheer. Is a cheer there? Like a crowd or something? Like if I had to paint what I thought that scene sounded like, it wouldn't be this. So I don't really know what this is. I think this could probably stand to go in general. Unless you were to show me more to give that more context, because that might be like great and totally appropriate, but this by itself tells me nothing about that scene. And if you're looking to okay, well, redesigns do two things. They show people what you want to be getting into. For example, we've talked about some people in the past who've done who've shipped a lot of mobile games, a lot of casual games. Like, yeah, I've done like 1,000 match 3 games, but I want to do like hardcore shooters. Well, if you show all your casual match 3 games in a reel, it's going to show that you're really good at casual match 3 games. And if you want to get into something else, you need to show people kind of your own accord. You need to like do redesigns and say, hey, here's my, for example, like my Alien Isolation thing, like Rob Brown did. He's like, here's my Isolation redesign. I totally want to hang out in this game space. So redesigns should do that, and they should also show your aptitude for painting a world and bringing it to life. So in this case, I don't know if it's showing me that you want to work on this kind of game. I have no idea. But second, it should be showing that you can aptly and creatively bring a world to life, and it's not really doing that for this scene right now. So I think that you could probably stand it just to get rid of it. Let's talk about material selection, shall we? It's really varied, which is awesome. So good for you, man. Really, really good. So we got a VR game. We got a VR, and also you're a designer, and in Wise, awesome. Next one.
Excuse me.
What's up, Wojtek? Good to see ya. Worlds Adrift, dynamic engine design, recruit from Wise, great. Technical sound design, great. And lead is cool. I'm not sure it's really it strikes me as weird down here. I don't know. I've never seen that before. Like a lead technical sound designer, or like sound design lead. That might do it. I mean, if you say you're doing Wise and UE4 implementation, I will infer that you were involved in a technical capacity. So you could just say like lead sound designer and have less stuff here. That's probably worthwhile. Again, Wise. Redesign here, sure, of something kind of more AAA. And more AAA stuff here, great. Or at least shooter stuff. Cool. Alright, great. So overall, red. Alex Trey says, ambience seems hard to show in demo. The point is that they evolve over time. Yeah, for both the... I'm inclined to agree to a certain extent. For both this one and for the Limbo thing, they're both showing ambient elements, and it's hard to show that. Yeah, it's like show 10 seconds of a soundscape and someone like walking through an area or something. Like that's going to be more informative than, I don't know, than like 3 seconds of something. And even then, it's tough. It's a hard choice to know if you should even include it or not, because ambience isn't very doesn't really hold people's attention. We had someone a while back. Who the hell was it? Was it Javier, who had like 15 seconds of a film they did, and the film had no speaking or no real like action. It was just a girl on a subway, and all there was just background ambience, and it was so long. It was like a lot. It was longer than 15 seconds. It was like 20 seconds of just that. It was just room tone for like 20 seconds, and I was like, this is not helping anyone. But it's good to know that you can do that, but it's hard to showcase that and make it interesting. And reels, you kind of got to hold people's attention. It's a hard balance to strike sometimes. So yeah, material selection, like awesome, man, really good. I like it a lot. It's got a lot of different stuff in here and shows that you're versatile. So good for you. The content quality, sure. Let's talk about that. Let's see here. So I mentioned the technical error right here. You hear that, right? Yeah, the pop is a pretty big details problem. Like, it's fine, I guess. I mean, the thing is that this whole mix is like very in front of me, but I mean, I don't really know what I'm looking at, so it's hard for me to give any kind of feedback on it. And also considering that these shipped, so like Matt has said in the chat before, both of us are generally more forgiving of games that shipped because we understand that it's not just you making the calls. With redesigns, we can tear you apart because you made all the decisions. But these are a little more a group effort, so to speak. So let me jump into Matt's stuff for a second here as well. So he said, okay, cool. So he says, find the veil clip jarring, which is the intent, I'm sure, but might not be the best to open the reel with. It's a subjective thing. Worlds adrift, cool to show what you built to go with the game, but perspective doesn't really change much, so it might not be showing what you want to be showing. I was saying, yeah, I said the same thing regarding like why I went mono to stereo. Like we're on top of this. I mean, we're piloting, but we seem to be on top of this thing, and then we're third person, and we're still on top of the thing. It hasn't changed that much, so I'm not sure if it warrants like a complete like left and right wide stereo versus a mono image to begin with. I don't know. He says the faraway perspective still sounds really close. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm coming from too. Office freakout, as you're the technical sound designer, I'm not sure what technical things you're showing off. Limbo clip just isn't very exciting, as I mentioned. Sunset Overdrive has a lot of sounds missing. More ambience for sure. I mentioned it's all mono. Confused by Adventure Manager. Yes. Not sure if sounds from other clips are carrying over or what. And for boot camp, this is the Unity demo at the end. You're calling out redoing ambiences, but then there's a whole lot of other sounds going on. The focus is more on them than the ambience. Oh, I didn't realize you did that. Good point, Matt. Thank you. Material selection. Let's talk about that for a second. Is mostly stuff you worked on, which is great, and stuff I don't see that often, so that's good too. Awesome. The shipped stuff is shipped, so it made someone happy, so that's good. Exactly. The redesigned stuff is fine, but isn't jumping out at me as amazing. It's just kind of there. Yeah. And distinction, you're trying to cover a lot of space and show design and implementation, which is great. Yes. So that's all Matt's stuff on Ali. I'm inclined to agree with basically all of that. Yeah, so regarding quality. Yeah.
Is that all you got?
This stuff is pretty high. I talked about, who was it last week? It was, I can tell you right now, who the hell was it? It was it Rob? It was Gabe. I think it was Gabe Castro last week who had this stuff that's kind of hanging in the higher register. Is that all you got? I guess it's on like a loudspeaker or something.
Is that all you got?
There's a lot of highs in there. I'd be careful about that. It's pretty, well, it's punching through the mix really hard right now. It's like assaulting my eardrums. And mind you, I think these headphones actually, they're Shure's. I think they actually pick up the highs a bit more than other ones. So I'm probably hearing it a bit sharper than, perhaps than your setup. But that's something else that it can be difficult to accommodate for every system. So in general, caution is the best choice. I mean, especially hearing like a desktop setup for most people in the world, they have like some average speakers or no speakers. It's like come out of their laptop, right? And those laptops and speakers reproduce high frequencies very efficiently. So when you have something that sounds like it's just on the edge of being abrasive on your setup, then it'll for sure be on theirs. Yeah. This thing's fine. Yeah, this is all mono. The sound itself has a lot of things missing, but like... It almost seems like a mistake that it's mono, man. Because like this opening... Like that isn't a stereo input, really? The movement could be a lot more like that slam down. There's like a, it's really when the massive like hand comes down. There could be a lot more though. This is just confusing. We've been over that. So Joey says the roar is very detached from him as well. Because the sync. Let's have a look. Yeah. Yeah, I think overall the the one thing that stands out the most for me, the whole reel, is that it seems like your panning is like really, it's like here or it's here. Like it's really kind of hard left, right, or it's centered, and I'm not sure. Like, it's really throwing me off because like we've got this opening. I have this that low drone is like hard left, right the entire time. And then like isn't this movement here? It's like hard left and right again, but most things are like right in the middle again. It's just, yeah, it's catching me off guard. I don't know what's going on. And then this one being like hard mono, and then like hard stereo again, and then.
All you got!
This one's less so because it's like it's 3D. And this one, again, it's right in front of me, and even the delay is right in front of me, whereas the drone's hard left and right. And then the next shot is all mono. Next shot is like a nice soundscape, just confusing. Okay, you know what, Bob? I didn't even realize that those gunshots were from this next shot. So thank you for the J-Cuts mention. I didn't even realize that the gunshots here were from this shot here. It was, yeah, that's something else. Yeah, okay, I don't know. It's maybe a bit tricky to do that kind of thing. And the fact that your shots are going by so fast isn't helping, you know? But anyways. Yeah, I think if things are just more filled out, and if you think about panning more as like a full panorama, like a full canvas, and find holes to put things in, I think it'll come across a lot more lush and a lot more, it's a lot fuller and a lot better in general. But overall, it's not bad at all. I mean, I watched the whole thing. I didn't hate it. So good stuff. And then the last thing is distinction. So Matt mentioned it's a lot of space, a lot of versatility, a lot of variety, and this thing's kind of cute. But I feel like this scroll sound is going to be a very polarizing kind of feature. Like some people might hate it and some might love it. So I don't know. It's up in the air. But anyways, that's about it for now, man. I'm going to leave it at that, and we can go over to Logan. Let's jump in. Of course.